Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Reading the Red. This Friday morning, it's a little bit damp, but it's quite warm, and I think it's going to be a nice day. Praise the Lord. Friday. We always love a Friday. Matthew chapter 18, verse 7. It's headed Stumbling Blocks. Jesus, building on from all the things he just said to the disciples, makes another declaration in verse 7 and says, "Woe to the world because of its stumbling blocks, for it is inevitable that stumbling blocks come. But woe to the man through whom the stumbling blocks comes." So that word, stumbling block, I think it means 3 times there. And this sense of getting something in the way so that people stumble. And it says woe, and that word woe means you're in trouble. So there's an implication of that declaration, woe, woe, meaning whatever you've done, it's going to be recompense. There's going to be as it were, a payment required from you as it relates to whatever it is that you've done. So when Jesus says, woe, you know you're in trouble. And so it is, woe to the world. And that means the whole world as it relates to anyone in the world. And so then it goes on to say, woe to the man. So woe to the world, woe to the man, meaning any man who creates a stumbling block. Anyone in the whole world that creates a stumbling block for someone to trip over, there's going to be a woe reality to the end of your life in the eternal place. So this sense of being, as it were, under a judgment because we've created a problem that's caused other people to stumble. And when you get people like teachers or philosophers or guys, scientists or people that rise up in education, someone like Darwin, who come and give, as it were, a particular philosophy, and how many people have stumbled over, as it were, the so-called insight into the revelations that he brought to the earth in those days, and how that's affected the whole of the way we think in the societies that we live in across the world. How people have abandoned the reality of trusting in and believing in God as creator, and look to science as the means to give answers to the questions that actually can never be answered except by God. But this sense of causing people to stumble, or whether it's causing a child to stumble because you've made, as it were, a bad representation of a parent, of a friend, of someone that's caused some insight into a child that's made them think, is there really a God? If God was there, would he really allow that person to do that to me? And all these senses of stumbling blocks. Some people, they want everyone to come under some kind of great judgment. And most of the time, God is wanting to forgive us. But there's coming a time when the reality of all those things that we have done, God says to those things, woe to you. There is a judgment. Woe to you is coming. God doesn't want to judge. He's provided Jesus to deal with the problem of judgment. But woe to those who cause stumbling blocks. Beware and be mindful that your life doesn't create a stumbling block for someone else. Have a great weekend. Be blessed, and I'll see you on Monday morning.